Oh shit. What it do, what it do, what it do. Hey man, listen, man. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your favorite host, man. Hunter BJ, man. CEO Nino Cappucino, the Breezan, man. Hey, look, man. I done went on down there to the hood, man. Went down there to the mighty WATTS, man. And I done snatched up one of my young ones, man. Another one of my young ones, man, from the other side, man. From PJ Weezots, man. I got young Bobby Yaya in the house with me today, y'all. Hey, man, we bridging that gap, man, as I always do, man. You know what I mean? I keep it gully, man, over here, man. Me and Uncle Spliff D, man, riding shotgun with me, man, as always, man, with the shotgun barrel, man, cocked and loaded, man. With no further ado, man, I want to introduce my homie to you. Matter of fact, I'm going to let him introduce his damn self, man. I got a special guest in the building right now. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him on the red couch this morning. But in due time, he'll definitely be in here physically in the penthouse, sitting on the red couch with his big homie, OG, big homie, man, Mr. Nino Cappucino, a.k.a. Bounty Hunter BJ, the Breezan, man. What it do, Mr. Yaya?
Yo, what's the deal, man? Shout out to you. Shout out to Brother Split, man. You know, shout out to all the brothers that's in this field that's doing the right thing, taking care of their families and aspiring to be better men. You feel what I'm saying? I just want to lead in with this right here. Black on black crime, black on black violence. It's not the thing. You feel what I'm saying? That shit is not popping. It's not cool, and it's only hurting our community and our children. You feel what I'm saying? So
yes, sir.
I know sometimes we get in situations to where we feel like the best thing for us to do is to go out there and inflict bodily harm upon somebody that look like us, homie. But we got to open different avenues of lines of communication, man, for conflict resolution to resolve our problems, other than us killing each other and driving our numbers into the dirt and being targeted by everybody else. You feel me? But what's the deal with y'all? How y'all feeling, man?
Hey, boy, listen. This is why I fucks with this cat right here, man. He a youngin'. Not a youngin' like in his 20s, but he a youngin' come from that era. Because he's so intelligent, bro. And he come from the rooty of it. I'm talking about gully, nigga, real gully with it. Once upon a time, really, really repping that blue rag and putting this shit in, man. But the youngster, man, is intelligent and he's smart, bro, and he wise, and he got a real true heart. You feel me? It's like my homie, shout out to my homie Dwayne Holmes, a.k.a. Double OG, Big Snipe, man. Big Snipe about the PJs, man.
Guy. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, man. Hey, yeah, man. Listen, man. It's a pleasure to have you on, man. Hey, Big
What's going on, Cap?
Houdini, I got my young rider on with us, man, and he was speaking, He was speaking in terms to you, so I just want you to give some feedback,
Yeah. I heard about how you say your name, homie.
I'm Bobby Yeye. I'm Yeye from PJW, big homie.
Yeah, Bobby Yeye, man. I was watching a previous interview that you did probably about 2 years ago, man. Me and Cap was doing a EP yesterday talking about the feminization of the male that's going on today, and I heard you speaking on it, man. What's your thoughts on the masculinity being stripped from the black male, especially the younger generation right now?
If you can effeminate a male, you can weaken the male. If you can weaken the male, then you can take over his nation. You can take over his community without much force. You understand? Because it's a feminine mind that you're dealing with. Me coming up, you know, look at how I came up. You know, these dudes was into bodybuilding, you know, going to prison, coming home real swole, and that was the masculinity that was represented in the community. But now these dudes are, you cool and you hip if you look metrosexual. If you dress, you know, kind of androgynous, you look like it can be a female outfit, but it can be a dude type of outfit, then that shit make you popular. You feel what I'm saying? So they ain't trying to effeminate us, man, so that they can weaken our community. You feel what I'm saying? And effeminated man is a man who isn't inclined to violence if we got to be violent, isn't inclined to, you know, take drastic steps to protect what we love if that becomes the case. An effeminated man is a man that's always smiling and don't make the establishment or, you know, other societies and communities feel threatened. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
But at some point homie, we gotta make motherfuckers feel threatened. We gotta make motherfuckers feel uncomfortable so they can stop shooting us like dogs in these motherfucking streets. They shoot us down like dogs in the streets because they think like that we're not a threat to them. The biggest threat that a black man have in his community and to himself is himself. And that shit is bonkers. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that a motherfucker can shoot a motherfucker that look just like me and there's no retaliation. You feel what I'm saying? Like that ain't cool. But when you're dealing with these effeminated men, they don't give a fuck about anything but their personal gain. You feel what I'm saying? They personal benefit and they vested interests and whatnot, man. That's why they want to effeminate this man, because it's easier to control an effeminated man than a masculine man. And my masculinity and my testosterone tell me when I feel threatened, I got to do what? Defend myself.
That's
When
right.
I'm hungry, I got to get out and do what? I got to hunt. I got to be a hunter gatherer. I got to be a protector. I got to be a presider over my family and my community. I got to be willing to die. I got to be willing to kill. That's my masculinity. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
And I don't want people to tangle and twist my words saying that those who are masculine are more inclined to kill, but they're more inclined to protect. They're more inclined to get the fuck up and go to work. They're more inclined to get out and be a positive force upon their community. They're more inclined to stand up for women and children. That's what I mean when I say that. Because, you know, this internet, man, they got a way of playing games and twisting your words and trying to, you know what I mean, fabricate shit and make shit what it really isn't. You feel me?
Talk that damn talk then, Mr. Yaya.
Oh, yeah, we gonna talk it. We gonna talk it.
You at the right spot. You at the right place right here, young homie. It's uncut.
Most definitely.
For the people, by the people, to the people. And raw and man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Great opinion, man. Great damn opinion right there, man. I love it, man. Hey, look, let's back up real quick for 1 quick second and give those out there that's my subscribers and big unsubscribers and our followers, man, a little background draft as to who you are, bro. What's your origins? You know what I mean?
Man, my origin is...
Where were you born and where were you actually raised? Where did you grow up at?
Puriquest housing projects. I was born in Lancaster, you know what I mean? My mom and my daddy was out there in Palmdale for some shit that I can't discuss, you feel what I'm saying? But going into labor, my mama, you know, was smoking crack cocaine and whatnot, and she went into labor with a lot of drugs in my system, so they was gonna take me. My daddy stole me from the hospital. We was homeless in Palmdale, Lancaster. Made it back to the Mighty W. You feel what I'm saying? My family member seen me, was like, "Nah, Big Junior, you can't take care of this baby." And I landed with my paternal aunt. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And right there, you know, shit, it was in the projects, man. You feel me? It was violent. It was crazy. We was at a full-fledged war. Coming out of the war with the bounty hunters and going more into the war with the Gray Streets. You know, July the 4th, 1987. So, you know, me growing up, my auntie house was getting shot up. My grandmama house was getting shot up by the Gray Streets. You feel what I'm saying? So it's what I was saying, that I developed a certain hatred for these dudes that as a kid. You feel what I'm saying? Seeing your grandmama crying, you know what I mean, when she by herself, and hearing the stories about how they inflicted pain upon your loved ones, man. You know, that shit more inclined to really the set and take some type of retaliatory actions against those who killed my uncle. You know, I grew up fighting in the projects. You know, they say steel sharpen steel is man sharpen man. And, you know, coming up in the projects, that's what we do. We test those hands. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my life. Mother was a crack addict. My father was a heroin addict who was a full-fledged gangbanger, you know what I mean? Reputable motherfucker coming up out the Imperial Quest housing projects. Typical shit, man. Raised by drug dealers, killers, and pimps. You feel me?
Man, he couldn't have hit it no better than that one, baby. Yes, sir. Hey, look, man. So in that process of growing up and coming up, give me one of them fun, memorable moments where you just felt this particular day was just so fun to you as a kid, man. Give me one of those.
Huh? The peace treaties.
1992?
1992, the peace treaty.
It's just Explain that moment, Bobby. Explain that moment to you as a youngin' back then when we put that development all together and it went down like it did. Because I believe you went into you was in and out of YA. You came home at that time, did you? Or you was
Nah, I ain't that motherfucking old, man. Nah.
Okay.
Hey, shit, I was 7 or 8 years old when the peace treaties cracked off. But I have always so I've been off the porch, man, for a long time. Even when my kin folks didn't want me outside, man, I'm in the projects, man. Once they created the blue line, I'm on the blue line going everywhere. We going to Long Beach. So I always been out there. I always been, you know, observing, seeing, and, you know, knowing who's who and all this type of shit. But, you know, it was a forbidden thing for the bounty hunters to come to our projects and the Gray Streets to come to our projects and to come home. Well, this is how it started. I was at Gray Street Elementary, and I remember seeing everybody marching. They shouting how we going back to the PJs, whoopie whoop and all that. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, fuck that. I need to be a part of that. It's just the ambiance, man. man, you have to be there to experience in order to fully explain the
I
feeling
said
that you get when you have so many of your people vibrating on a positive frequency, right? So I did school. We leave school. It's a big ass party in the projects. They start partying in the daytime. Everybody getting together, you know, showing love. Crips and Bloods getting together, tying rags together. We didn't have rags. Me and my partner Lil Rob, rest in peace to Lil Rob. So we went to Newberry. It was Newberry, Boys Market up there in the shopping center. We went to Newberry's and stole a whole lot of blue rags. So now we got blue rags all over us, and we PJ. It was a certain chant they used to do. It used to be like PJ Watts, Bunny Hunter Watts, Gray Street Watts, PJ Watts. We out there screaming that the vibe
yeah.
and freak is crazy, bro. That was one of the most memorable times of my life coming up as a kid. You feel me? It was other fun times and whatnot in my life, but just being a part of that, me and my sisters, we sneaking out, going to the parties and the joint downs and the parties and the Nickersons, and you know what I mean? That was just next level, man. That shit was dope as a motherfucker, man.
Hey, wow, and that's hey man, and I'm so glad that we able to sit here on this panel like this, man, and share that moment together because me being an OG big homie advocate from my side, representing my side of being the face of Nixon Garden during that time and being help putting this whole entire movement together with some of your
Right.
G homies from the PJ, specifically my man, my dog, Big Snipe, man. And not
Right.
to mention sister, OG sister, the homegirl sister, and Mama
Right.
Teresa, you feel me? Mother
Right.
Teresa, the whole nine, man. So PJ's, I always tell this, and I always say this, bro, because you know I get credit where credit is due, and I get
Right.
props to real. It don't matter because I'm a real when it come up in that era, bro. And I know that when I was against what we thought was our enemies once upon a time, I fought
Mm-hmm.
against real thorough niggas, man. Niggas was real
Right.
crips. So I
Right.
wasn't used to fighting no Winnie ass crip niggas or coming up with Winnie Crips or the nigga with the
Right.
extra cripping. See, you got a lot of these niggas that's extra cripped out, bro. Just like you got these old
Mm-hmm.
fake ass blood niggas that's extra blooded out. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
come up with that extra shit, nigga. Niggas was really
Right.
with it about the movement. You feel me? So
Right.
for us to go into that transition, like Mr. Ye said, man, you had to be here, be in it, be a part of it to feel that high, bro. The day he talking
Right.
about was the same day when I told you guys the story on my EP about me going to this last final meeting, and I had to make this decision of coming from where I'm coming from and representing myself, my hood, that whether we gonna be a part of this. And
Mm-hmm.
that particular day turned into a march that led us straight all the way from Nixon Garden down Central, all the way back down to 103rd, which is what he just described, around down to Grape Street Elementary, back down to the PJs, and it was parties for 3 days and 3 fucking nights in Watts. Niggas didn't even
Hey,
change
that's
clothes. Niggas went and
crazy.
bought teas out the liquor stores and was right back in the
Right.
party. And niggas was
Right.
showering at niggas' houses. That they peace treaty niggas was showering at niggas' houses that they went to school with in
Right.
elementary. And since the separation for the last 2-3 decades, now everything come together. Man, niggas was in niggas' houses showering and redressing
Right.
just to stay in the project because niggas didn't want to leave.
Right.
That's
Right.
how much monumental that shit was. It was so
Right.
monument, bro. It, like you say, man, it was a high.
Monumental historical moment, man. You feel what I'm saying? But and it's a shame because a lot of these youngsters will never be able to experience that. You feel what I'm saying? If they had the opportunity to experience that something of that nature, man, they'd be more inclined to give an ear to it. You feel what I'm saying?
Man, Unc, you got something you want to step in and say up? I see you on
Yeah,
the screen.
yeah.
Talk to
I got a question for both of y'all. BJ, you being from Nickerson Gardens, which is a known infamous blood hood, and you, Bobby Yaya, being from Imperial Courts, which is a known infamous Crip hood. But both of y'all sections is in Watts. What makes
Mm.
Watts so different, bro? Where for 10 years, I got it right, Cap, for 10 years? Was it 10?
12.
12 years, that section was able to coexist. No other section was able to do this. Not South Central, not Compton, not Inglewood. Just Watts.
Watts is
What
the
make
motherland. Watts is the motherland. Before it was people that look like us in Compton and the west side of South Central, Inglewood and all that, they was in Watts. So in Watts, we family. You feel what I'm saying? So when you talk to certain individuals from Watts, you can see that they got a southern twang because we all come from down south. You feel what I'm saying? So my auntie probably came out to Watts, but she landed in the Jordan Downs. And my grandmama probably landed in the niggas. And so somehow, some way, we all entwined. You feel what I'm saying? And then you got to understand, man, Watts has always been about this. you know, the dynamics of Watch changed when we came about this. When Watch started cripping in blood, man, it divided Watch. You feel what I'm saying? That hurt us to a degree. So being that we was able to get over the B's and the C's around the Peace Treaty time, being that we're not separated by that, then we can be family now. You feel what I'm saying? And the reason why it lasted so long, I done had situations where young cats from out the joint downs, right? And they said they wanted to do this and they was gonna do that. So what we was gonna do, we was gonna violate the peace treaty. You know what I mean? The big homies are saying this and saying that, but man, fuck that. These niggas is talking tough, right? So my big homie Snipe that BJ was talking about, he got with Big D from out the joint and there was a cat over there named Potter. You feel what I'm saying? Potter was talking all this gangster shit and all that. Like, you feel me? So they said we gonna let him fight. The big homie Snipe come up to me, he's like, hey, look, man, you want to go over there and fight? I'm like, hell yeah, on PJ, I'll go over there and fight him. You for sure, we gonna be cool? He's like, hell yeah, we gonna be cool. So I'm getting an expedition with the big homie Snipe about to go over there and fight him so we can resolve it like that instead of busting, you know, getting back into this full-fledged game war with us shooting each other and all that. But Big D had pulled up and Big D said, nah, man, you know, that little dude, he don't want to fight. He around the little homies talking tough and whoop whoop. So I talked to him. Y'all ain't gonna have to worry about him no more. But being that the homies wasn't so quick to put guns back in our hands, you understand what I'm saying? That is what allowed the peace treaty to sustain itself for damn near 12 years. Because the big homies, when they had differences and whatnot, motherfuckers was getting on the phones. Motherfuckers was using that open line of communication to see what the fuck is going on, and they was going to go holler at their folks. It was accountability. Now there's no accountability, so a motherfucker can go out, do whatever you want to do, but not thinking that my actions affect the whole hood. My actions affect these innocent kids. My actions affect my homie grandmama because these bullets ain't got no names on them. You feel me? Once that bullet out the barrel, that motherfucker go wherever it choose to if you don't got correct aim. You feel me? But that's what allowed those relationships, us coming from the South, being cousins and in-laws and all that type of shit, and the OGs, you know, holding us accountable and using conflict resolution is what allowed it to sustain itself for damn near 12 and a half years or 12 years, something like that.
And I'm gonna step right in because he basically answered it in a nutshell. You feel me? The boy, he tongue twisted with that integrity, man. So, you know, I just sit back and let him do his thing, man. But like he said, what allow us to go that long, like I explained in my stories in the very beginning, was the thorough leadership from cats like myself, his big homie Snipe, the homegirl sister, OGs up out of the PJs, you know what I mean, who was really, really, their heart was really, I mean, up out of Jordan Downs, their hearts was really into it. Circle City, 10-8, High Santa Village, everybody who stepped up, the homie Big John was representing High Santa at that time, so everybody who stepped up to the plate and represented us for us OGs in our era, the first and second generation, which is where it came from. Once we really made our mind up to stamp this shit, bro, put our stamp on it. I myself personally, I knew that when I came involved and I came in play to do this and I took my leadership and put it on the line as well, bro, I knew that I was putting my reputation on the line just as well, as much. And it's crazy because Snipe mentioned this in our film about how hard it was during the peace treaty. And he made one particular statement. And that same statement he made, I had the same feeling. And he said, shit, it wasn't the triumph of the treaty that I went through that was hard. What was hard was taking my leadership and my reputation and putting it on the line to say now to one of my little homies, hey, nah, nigga, put that gun down. He cool, don't do that. Don't shoot that brother. He a brother. You know what I mean? To stop some violence when once upon a time, I am violence. That was the hard part. That was the hardest part right there to say, okay, do I no longer become Bonnie Hunter BJ, you know, the villain, the nigga who's knocking shit down, who's putting in that work. When shit happened in the Nixon Guard, I'm on front line. I'm one of them niggas. We already up and running. We gone. Me and my crew, we out of here. We out of here already. We going to do what we need to do. So do I put that aside for real, to make this movement become for real, or do I infiltrate? Some cats infiltrated, and he just explained it. That's why he broke it down like he just broke it down. Some niggas infiltrated. They act like they was with it, but in the cut, they talking shit. They trying to stir things up. But it was us that kept the shit at bay because we had set rules involved. And that number one ruling, like I explained to you guys before, was when we put the declaration together and we signed off. And everybody who signed them signatures on there, who was representatives from each project, we signed off on that peace treaty declaration. That paperwork submitted and gave us clarification that, okay, this shit is really, really real and it's violent. So everybody had to be held accountable from each projects who were representatives to stand on those rules, bro, and make sure your young homies and the other little homies don't get out of line, man. Because like you said, if you did something, it affected the whole projects. It don't
100.
just what you just did, what you two just dumb niggas just went and done outside of the rules. Now it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect the PJ. If prime example, Watts stopped gangbanging for 12 years. 12 consecutive straight years that we didn't get our credit from the newspapers. They didn't publicize our shit. That's why I myself, my big homie Cartoon, rest in peace, and other individuals who were involved in that movement, we went on certain TV shows and I did these exclusive interviews back then with CNN, Montel Williams, and certain shows like this to try to get our stuff around for the world to be able to hear what we done. And what the brothers from the Jordan Downs had did as far as the two brothers, the Sherrill brothers, coming together with the actual concept. And then the PJs and the Gray Streets, like I told you, our war wasn't primarily a war anymore. Because it was like we the middleman sector now. It's like we had to go out and primarily create some problems or start some shit, basically, because they was concentrating on one another heavily at once upon a time. So we was like basically we just step back where we didn't have no problems unless we run into one another at the stores or in traffic and stuff like that. Of course, then niggas gonna retreat back. But they was really, really in an uproar. So they had to come up with some form of concept to try to bring their crip unity together as far as those two housing projects at least coming to a ceasefire, because it was too many bodies dropping back then on both sides. And it was a lot of funerals jumping off. So the PJs between Snipe, his mom's, his cousin, rest in peace, OG Pico. You feel me?
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Before they got killed, all them were involved with this meeting. TB was kind of thorn against what they were trying to do at the time, because TB was pushing that straight fuck that. It's PJ's a nothing line.
Yeah, because he had recently been shot bombed.
They hit him with a K, nigga, and they had to put the homie back like the Bionic Man. So when Tony Bogart denounced, nigga, fuck that. It ain't no longer the PJ war. It's the Tony Bogart war then, nigga. And it really, after that, the shit really, really went into a war once he got hit. And so the bottom line was the greatness of the Sherrill brothers going to the Hill at the time, and they tried to put a Los Angeles movement together treaty, which that wasn't gonna never work. South Central, Inglewood, Compton, Long Beach, and Watts, that wasn't gonna never work. First of all, it's too much leadership, too many heads involved who wasn't connected. See, one thing about our community, we had OGs and heads that were still connected with other old heads from each housing project, because we all grew up together and we banged against one another. So a lot of us who started growing up to a level where, you know, we were matured enough where we could speak and talk to one another, and, you know, without the violence, we still had an alliance. So it was easier for us. But all the other sectors didn't have them alliances like that. Some did, don't get me wrong, but they just didn't have that alliance that Watts had. And then for us, bro, for 40 years, damn near, man, we was just tired, bro. Motherfuckers was tired, bro. I know I put 30 years in actively.
Right.
So I was in agreement with it, bro, at this time. But, you know, niggas was just tired, bro. A lot of cats was tired, bro. And then they had kids. And they want their kids to be able to grow up without getting shot, without getting hit by drive-bys and things. So a lot of us, we just poured our heart into this shit, man, for real, man. And it worked up until 2004. The youngins got into it, my little homies, and some great streets. They got into it to skate land, man, at Skate Depot down there at freaking Cerritos. And we lost a little young homie, man. And then after that, we still try to minimize it. But then another death occurred, and it just went back into the uproar from there, you know. And then from there, a lot of us, you know, a lot of the old heads, as y'all call us, niggas moved out. Niggas started really taking care of their families and concentrating solely on their priorities, their families, and things of that nature. And then a lot of the fake leadership, which what pissed me off, what pulled me away from my leadership as far as being an activist with it, was watching these, because I find myself now, I'm arguing and checking niggas with organizations who's taking the money and not bringing it back to Watts. So now I'm
That's
on
what.
these niggas' heads. I'm on their bumper. So what they do, they trying to squeeze me out the way because I'm the mouthpiece. That's the villain
Right.
that's telling the truth. They don't
Right.
want me to reveal the truth. You know what I'm
The
saying?
money, the money corrupted the movement. Because now
Corrupted.
the personal gain and personal interest. But see, for any individual out there who's thinking about reconciling with your brothers from the other side, you feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it like this. It wasn't peaches and cream. That shit wasn't easy. You feel what I'm saying? In like 1995, one of my homies that got shot. He ain't died none. You feel me? But he got shot by some gray streets acting on their own. You feel what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
for probably about like 10 days, it was up at the gray streets. But cooler heads prevailed. Motherfuckers came to the table and got that shit right. It was constant conflict resolution. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
So if
right.
something happened, motherfuckers tried to get on it immediately. But being that
Mm,
our homie had got shot, we wasn't not we, because I was younger then. But my older homies weren't trying to hear it then. You feel what I'm saying? It was kind of
right.
like they tasted blood and this is what it is. And then cooler heads had prevailed. And then, it's probably like another 5 or 6 years before another situation flared up, and then they put the top on it. So you may have those type of situations, but what I say is persevere, homie. Don't give up at the first sign of controversy. You feel what I'm saying? Because you
Right.
gotta understand this blood that's being shed, homie. When those birthdays come around and when certain songs come on that your partner used to listen to, that shit can trigger you, homie, and it'll make certain individuals want blood. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So understand that it's being homicides behind this shit, and we gotta know that it's a constant work, homie. It's a constant work.
That was the purpose. That was the purpose, y'all of us turning around, and we went back in and we had a couple of meetings and we decided, and then I along myself, Dawu, and a couple of others, that's when we came up with the grassroots idea to say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Okay, we can't just keep having a lot of parties, parties. That's cool, that's fun and everything, but parties bring drinking. Drinking and
Right,
smoking weed and niggas tooting is a get high, right? Motherfuckers
right.
that get high is uncontrollable.
Mental state changes.
That's right. So now that's the problem, and we dealt with a lot of those situations at the skate parties, at the parties in our gym, parties at y'all gym, parties at Jordan Down gym. When niggas get high and drunk, now they want to argue. Nigga, cuz what's happening? Cuz blood. Hold
Right,
on, nigga. We in a treaty, so we deal with that.
righteous.
So what we did was we came up with the idea, the grassroots. Grassroots brought us the basketball league, the football league, the
All league,
baseball league. The
all that.
basketball league used to stomp the hell out of LAPD, stomp the shit out their ass on the court. They didn't want to play no football with us because that was too physical contact, but they played basketball. We used to
Right.
stomp the hell out of LAPD. You feel me? So we came up with those leagues. So everything we did, as far as pertaining to your question and ending in that, is these are the things that we did and these are the ideas that we came up with to transpire that helped us along the way. But like the young homie just said, it wasn't an easy task, bro, at all, bro. It wasn't easy, but it was a great task for those 12 years.
Yeah,
Trust, believe me.
sure.
If I was to ask, would you do it again, Cap? Hell yeah. To help
Most
bring
definitely.
peace, to
Yeah.
bring peace to my area, to my hood,
And,
not just to the community of Watts, to help to bring peace to the city of Los Angeles, to use the formula that we use. Hell yeah, I would do it again. Hell yeah, I would volunteer
and
to help.
about to
Yeah.
do it again with that situation that I sent over there to you. We about to do it again. All they got to do is just stay tuned and stay aware. You feel what I'm saying? And support the.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
once we get it watch, man, we coming everywhere else, and all the brothers that want the elixir, man, we giving it to you. You feel what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
got to invest in more in us. Akila Sherelle, we was having a very deep conversation, right? And he say blacks have this unique ability of assigning wealth to everything but themselves. And
Say that shit again, man. Say
black
that shit again,
blacks
damn it.
unique gift of assigning wealth to everything but themselves, or assigning importance to everything but themselves, and that hit me, and that was
Hey,
revolutionary on me. That changed my perspective on a
why
lot
do
of
you
shit. You know what I'm
not to
saying?
cut you off, homie? Why do you think that hit you so? Because in your mind you realize that we are the heavier consumers.
That's true. That's true. That's
We're
true.
we're the buyers, we're the spenders, but we ain't the savers.
But we're not the producers.
You feel what I'm saying?
We consume and we consume. You know what consumes and doesn't produce? A parasite. So now they can see why we at the bottom of the totem pole and don't nobody respect us. You understand what I'm saying? Because all we want to do is consume. Now